Alright guys, welcome back. This is Gorley on the last episode of The Rack for this season. We plan on wrapping up and starting a new map, so hopefully there's more fun, and I thought there's no better place to start than on top of the tree at Y243. So we'll just kind of go down, and as we found out, snow ends up coming up in different biomes, so I ran into that. And let's actually just jump down here completely, and we'll take a look at all the things that have happened throughout this season. That takes forever to land, and there we go. We're in the water. We're way far away from the tree. There it is. There's what I worked on in all its glory, forever and ever. And we have Ed, who is an amazing piece of art that ended up pretty early on, if I remember. Not too early. And we have the City Hall that was made by Chillin' Alk with all the courts. But let's go back in the tree. And I had a few things that I always had hidden about that I was always working on. And I'm going to close because there are soon to be mobs. This was always my wool area because I thought I may need wool for some reason. Whether it's to get to someone or something else. But back here, I always kept extra diamond tools and nice little books if I ever needed them. For whatever reason. And way back here is where I kept all my leaves from cutting down that whole jungle tree. Because I didn't grow it, I cut down an entire jungle at the beginning and moved it on. Let's get ready to fight. Just in case something happens. And these vines were left by Eternal Beta when he decided to prank my tree. And this was the original entrance. This was just a hill, and there was one tree up here, and I ended up cutting it down and then the jungle tree. And I used that for my basis of building the tree. So originally this was just my house, just this right here. And it was nothing special, nothing great, or nothing grand. It was pretty much just a door with a bed in it. And this is where I would sleep at night. Stay away from the baddies. And I always had the ender chest on me, just like I still do, with a silk touch pickaxe. That was our friend Jum, who never really made an episode on the server, but he played some. And that right there was my very first ice farm. This was the post office made by Eternal Beta, which I think we used a little bit. I left a message for Frog. Let's go ahead and read it. I'm not going to read it out loud because I already read it in a different episode. I just never released it. I might tell that story pretty shortly, or save it for next time. This is the Rack City Stables made by Anyoneers. And then the trading post made by Eternal Beta, and I think he is the only one that ever set up. He had basically silk touch items, and no one else really jumped in on this. And I think Aragatus made this castle, and Kage made the lighthouse. I remember him working on that, and I couldn't find any roses at the time, and it really didn't strike me as why I couldn't, and that's because he was using it to dye all the clay. This was Jaden, Max's floating island. I really like this house. It looked really neat. He got on a few times, and I don't think I ever really caught him on. And this was a memorial to the first server, which I was not on. But that's it. And then down here was our mine that I believe Benchy and Eternal Beta set up. It's pretty nice down there, but I'm pretty sure I've been in there quite a few times in the past. And we have Eternal Beta's house. She's made a lot of stuff, so there's more of his stuff. We have Chillin' Alk's house, which they were working on, and they planned on doing some great things, which they did do. And they didn't really show off all of it. And there's Apex's house at spawn. It's, well, I guess to put it nicely, there's an open floor design back here that, leaves a little bit to the imagination. I'm not sure if you ever finished that. So we had these roads connected. There's another house I really liked, Parker's. Which Parker's house had a witch in the front yard one morning that I ran into, and things didn't end well for one of us, and it was almost me, but I prevailed, and I took down the witch, which I hope wasn't Parker's good friend, because she had it out for me. Apparently there might be a zombie somewhere around here, because one of his doors is gone. There's his good friend Don Quixote. And Eternal Beta made a potion shop down there, which we used a little bit of from time to time. And there is the Rack City Cemetery, which we have one guy who came back from the dead, Frog. Frog and I used to goof around quite a bit. Hey, he took this down. He was working on something here. We used to mess around quite a bit, and this was where his house was. At the very bottom, I left him a present because he was working on some stuff and he needed some leather, so I brought him like 12 stacks of leather or something like that. And right here is where the official first spawn was, and it was kind of take what you need and leave what you can. This is my good buddy, which I pushed through the portal. I wonder if he'll still follow me. It's been months. Really? Oh yeah, let's feed him too. And let's just leave him again. Let's go check out some stuff that I had worked on in the past. And then I guess I'll tell you about the little thing that I did with Frog. Basically, I set up a scavenger hunt for him. He's been playing the Harvest Moon game. And so each chest had corresponding items that would lead him to a different location. By the sale price of the items, it would be the XYZ coordinate for each thing. So one would lead him here, and then what it would cost to sell 2 emeralds and the junk ore would be X, and then the Y would be how much these add up together, and then the Z for this. So he would just be able to track it down until he finally got to the last place, which got him a prize. So let's go check out a couple more things. This was the iron farm, which was used quite a bit at the beginning by a lot of different people. It seems like it just kind of went to the wayside. Not as many people would use it. I always did this for some reason. Just move the poppies or the roses off to the side. That way people could just quick grab the iron that they needed. And Alex set up a map room, but never really got the chance to make the maps. And yep, there we go. It still works. It would light up and the lights would turn off also. And then this is the mystery room to me. I don't know what was ever to happen to this. Oh, I don't know if I told you guys this about the tree. But that one large branch is actually a storage area, which I stored a lot of items in. It's a little bit tricky to get there, but I kind of liked it that way. It was out of the way, so people really didn't know. They didn't get to it that easily. And here is the nether hub. I always liked that it went straight to the iron, because this is the way that I built. I had a little trading post here, which is basically just take what you want. There's nothing special about it. So that's what that was for. And this is where I spent a lot of time, right down this lane right here. I worked on the AFK farm to be able to set up any type of farm that I felt like setting up that you could just literally just leave your character there, come back later, and reap the benefits of it. Some of the stuff you'd actually have to do some work for, and then some of it you didn't have to do a lick of work. You could just leave your guy there for hours and hours, and you would benefit from it. So it was right down this walkway. I never really took the rails on this. And then where I moved into the other house was actually down the Lapis line, the blue line. But this is the farm right here. I always leave a hole in the back, just because teleporting is weird. And I think that's just one thing that I started with. Right here I covered it up, I don't know why. But it ended up being a portal to the nether. But here's where it is. I had the chicken heads right here. And this would bust out cooked chicken, and this would bust out the raw chicken. And then in the center there would be the feathers. We had the cactus farm, the egg farm, which always had plenty of eggs, and then the reed farm, which people used often. And I ended up making my own at a different place. Well, at my other place. And then both melons, which worked out pretty good. We ended up using some of that stuff. Might go back to show that. And then also I had a secret storage right here-ish. Yeah. Which I kept some tools in there. Let's see, it was right there, I think. And this is the... Oh, someone left this open. This is the ugliness of the chicken farm right back here. Let's see if I can get to it. It just sorted out everything. It would sort out the feathers on each side and then the meat. So I think this, yeah, this is the one you can see a little bit easier. So pretty much the chickens are up top right there, and they would lay an egg. It would come into here, and just this was for the overflow, just in case. And this would trigger it to flicker if there's one egg, and the dispenser would go off, which is what would go over here. It would fire the egg, and they're half a block tall, so they're fine until they grow up, and then they drown. And the other side is pretty similar, except for it's lava. And I know there's items that are lost on that, which is no big deal, especially since it's AFK. This is just a meaningless checkerboard pattern design. And then here's where our hatchers were for more eggs. So we had plenty of those guys. As you can see, there's still eggs there sitting around. What's going on up there? Not much of anything. I don't know why that's there. Here's where I always made potions, because I was always going to the nether at a certain point, which I made a blaze farm, and I hated it. I absolutely hated it. Because blaze jump, and I wasn't expecting them to jump. This is where the spawner is for the silverfish. And then here was the ice farm, which worked really well because it would just kind of fill up this whole room, and then you just come in here with the silk touch pick and just go to town whenever you wanted ice. I think there was a silk touch pick on one of these. Or someone... Yeah, there it is. Let's see where someone took it. Whoa. There it went. Okay. And this was used quite a bit. What would happen back here is all this stuff would fire. And basically, it grows wheat for you automatically, drops it, and then you just have to replant. Which worked out really well for being able to trade, because we would come right out here, and we would have some villagers who would actually trade wheat. So you just be able to throw up what you have, and, well, it takes 18 as the lowest that this guy has, but you'd be able to get pretty quick emeralds. And once you had enough emeralds, you could go over here and trade with these folks for whatever you wanted. And this was the paper guy, yep. I think there was a gold guy somewhere in here, or I had to kill him. Looks like I might have to kill him. So here's our other paper guy. The guy with glass last. And then we just had various other villagers. This was worked off Tango Tech's idea of the way that he built his. It worked really well. Every once in a while it'll get kind of clogged up, but that's fine. You just have to go and unclog it. There's a lot of just working stuff in the back that I always tried to cover up. This was to stop this villager breeder from working. Didn't always work. And then this was the slime farm. So there's quite a few slime balls back there, because these two, this chunk and this chunk over here, are both slime chunks. So all these are half slabs because I couldn't have a well lit up area. And then these are stairs back to back, because I didn't want anything spawning in the slime chunks in there and killing me. This is where you're able to enchant some books, and then once you turn the spawner on, you could come down here if you wanted and bring a couple dogs in. Which I think I can bust out the wall right here. And you'll see why I covered up the slime. area. This is what it was. In all its ugliness, it was that. Hopefully I grabbed all those. Alright. I use the jack-o'-lanterns because it gives off a ton of light, and they're cheap and easy to collect here because they would just be here. There's a ton of dogs that I had. I think we had a extra storage. Yeah. I used a lot of them for various projects like that slime. The couple slime chunks, which gave off quite a few slime, more than we ever needed. So let's go back this... No, we can go... Well, we're going to have to travel that way anyway, so let's just go out this way. There's the token nether chest. Or... ender chest, not nether chest. It's because you can jump down these. Go a little bit faster. Not too fast. This was to the quad spider spawner. Let's take this. Since we set it up, I rarely ever took it. I always just walked. And we'll show something that I made an episode of a long time ago, but I never released it. It's kind of not a great episode now that I look back on it. But it was one of my earlier ones, and I might release it now. But, let's see, I had this right... Where is it? I think it's right here somewhere. There we go. Nice little secret passage over here, which made it easy for me to get to Petey's place, which was right over here. And let's see if I can make it without dying. He didn't make it safe, so I made that box around him so that it was a little bit safer, because this is just asking for death, because I think there's not really much of anything great down there. I'm not sure what that dirt pillar up there is. I don't remember that. I'm gonna go check. Oh jeez, I thought I jumped down to nothing. Just looks like nothing. But this was a box that Parker and I built. It was just tons of jack-o'-lanterns. And all those are bookcases. All of them. So we left with more jack-o'-lanterns, some wood. And so there's Petey's place. It's nice and safe. Because originally that portal was just out in the open. So I wanted to cover it up for him. Be a little bit of a nice guy. Let's go back. And let's go to the final base that I made. My islands. Is the way out. I think it's right here, right? Yeah, okay. There we go. Okay. So let's go down the blue line. Oh geez, I need food back. All the way down the blue line. And we made this cutoff pretty quick and easy to get to. It's kind of a straight line because Benchy was down a similar line. Can you do things for me, donkey? We set up a bunch of donkeys over here because it's a pain to just run up and down this without something. You kind of kill yourself too if you want. And so we made, Benchy and I made the donkeys down here. It's basically something that he did. I had one of them. And Lumi, who used to also live down this line, he had one also. So I made this grass right here so the zombie pigmen wouldn't spawn down here. Because it's a transparent block, so they wouldn't spawn on a transparent block. And pretty soon, we'll get to Benchy's, and that's partway to my place. Benchy's is on the left up here. And he was building something. I really don't know what it is. He mentioned a couple different things. The clearest answer I could get from him was it's from a book. So we had that. So I had two portals. I had the upstairs and the downstairs. Let's actually go to the upstairs first. Hopefully it's still connected correctly. It took quite a bit of monkeying around with to get those two in place. So this was my little island with my little house. And that was the island that I was going to work on next. That was my biodome of the Mushroom Island with the villagers underneath, because there's an iron farm underneath there. And then that is nothing. That was just stuff that I left in the chest. Because this island was huge. It went all the way out there. That small island was actually part of it. And this house was nothing really all that special. There's the beacon in the center. There's an island over there, which was a plains and a forest. Which I had some stuff underneath there, which is just the villager breeder. And here was the island in its original form, an original state. It just keeps getting bigger and bigger. And there's a little horse island right there, which is actually the Mushroom Island. And then there's the clay biome, the jungle that was nearby. And Benchy was... Oh, junk. Where was he? He's somewhere in this area? Somewhere on this peninsula right here, basically. I think he's... I want to say right there-ish. But I could be very wrong. And part of this, I set up a flower farm. Let's see if I have stuff in it to actually make it go. I got enough stuff in it. Just flip this lever. And plant. Bone meal. Like crazy. So then you could just come in here. Once that was all said and done, pick up all the flowers you wanted. Well, and seeds, but hopefully you had enough seeds. So just from that little bit of time, I had some seeds. So I got 2 sets of 17 flowers, a set of 5, so quite a bit of goodness just for a little bit of work. And then this beacon just went all the way down to where my storage area was. The storage area was nicely clean and in place. There's the different coal items. There's the different food items. This was wood stuff. Iron, and I think other resources are down here. Redstone, emerald, some wool, things. And then the same type of stuff over here, just organized stuff that I might need. So that's what that was down there. And I started clearing out an area down here, and I'm getting a lot of cobblestone. And so I was smelting a lot of it. And then I had my own iron farm down here, which was pretty well. And I had some people that I traded with. This guy took a while to get, Vials of Enchanting Glass, which really came in handy. And I don't remember what this guy was doing for sure. I think I was just trying to get different books, but Thorns is a pretty good book, and I like that. My face. This is the token in your chest. And that's where I would breed the guys down there. And I just cart them over here. Oops. I always covered it up. Man. I got rid of a lot of spawn area, but slime still spawned everywhere. So that was kind of like my mini slave cave number 1. And then I had another one, which was right here. And this is where all the action really happened for me. I spent a little bit of time getting all this ready. So, first off, I had some villagers in here, which were nicely contained. Oh, you jerk. Which, he had the Silk Touch efficiency. I traded some other stuff with them, which was kind of nice. And then this guy, This guy was great. He was my good friend for quite a while. He had every single diamond tool unlocked, and diamonds wasn't last. So it's actually the iron pick, which the iron pick and the chain leggings, I think I traded a full chest of diamond leggings and then over a double chest of chain leggings to unlock everything, which in retrospect I really shouldn't have done. I just did it just to get him complete and have it finished. And this guy was a book guy. I think he had like lure or something like that. I didn't use him a whole lot. Yeah, lure 3, which use that. And this guy was great. He was our paper guy. His last trade was paper, which was really great. It had 24, so that was pretty good. And then over time, after trading him, I finally got down to the 5 emerald book, which ended up being a flame book, which is kind of sad. Because he kept going back and forth from flame to something else. And this guy was our glass guy, which I really liked him. I used him for the dome and all the different stuff. The last trade was glass, and I also got this guy down to the 5 emerald book, which ended up being Silk Touch, which was amazing. I got quite a few Silk Touch items because of it, and it was pretty useful, but I only got him at the end. And then this was another, I believe he was, I don't even remember for sure what book he was. Something somewhat decent. Oh, he was the other Silk Touch. He was originally something else, and I forget what it was. So I had 2 Silk Touch guys that I can use. And then this was the storage for sugarcane. Tons and tons of sugarcane. To be able to trade our paper guy. So right now we have... What is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... 15, 16, 17 double chests full. And then a half. So that would turn into a lot of paper, which would turn into a lot of emeralds, which is a real nice farm. And then this was our cow farm. We had a lot of cows. Let's see if I can actually get up here. We'll take a look at what's up here. It's to me. And I'll show you what we had up here with this farm. This took a little bit of time to make. Oh, I just lost all that stuff. But, yeah, it's just sugarcane all the way up. Forever and ever. So that's what I had going on there, and it bust out so much sugarcane. It was insane. And then the weakest farm is right here. The snow farm. But it put out like no other. You could just sit here for quite a while. It doesn't take much time for the shovel to break, even though it's diamond. And I used a couple shovels here just to get snow. Never really got a good chance to use it all, but I got it. And then I make it into snow blocks. And then this was just my backup chests of Silk Touch pickaxes, because I had a couple projects planned that I never really got to. But that was pretty much everything on the rack that happened on the second season. This was my slave cave that I had kind of hidden away that I'm sure some people knew about, but no one really ever talked about it. Because it was a place that we could go and trade. I really didn't go out of my way to tell a lot of people because villagers got broken in the first place, and I didn't want that happening here. Which I was glad that never happened. So that's the end of the second season for the rack from me, guys. Hopefully we have some great things that happen in the future in Season 3. Thanks for watching. Bye.